Welcome to the Global Reader. Today, we invite you to step into the dense canopy of the Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania, the legendary setting where Dr. Jane Goodall forged a bond with the natural world that would forever change our understanding of chimpanzees and consequently ourselves. Born in 1934, Jane had an unwavering fascination with animals that set her on an unconventional path to study chimpanzees in their native habitat. Her story is one of patience, perseverance, and profound discovery. She defeated the skepticism of the scientific community and replaced speculation with empirical data. Our English lesson today centers on vocabulary for the natural world. We will master words that paint a picture of the jungle and the creatress within it, such as terrain, foraging, social hierarchy, and conservation. By immersing yourself in this narrative, you will gain the language to describe the complexity of the ecosystem and the essential work of environmental protection. Chapter 1: The Formative Dream and the Arid Terrain. Jane Goodall's childhood was marked by a deep and innate connection to animals. She was not a traditional academic. She dreamt not of university lectures, but of living in Africa, close to the wild creatures she adored. This passion, far from being dismissed, was nurtured by her mother, who gifted her a lifelike chimpanzee toy named Jubilee, a precursor to her life's work. In 1957, Jane made her way to Kenya, where she met the renowned paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey. Leakey recognized Jane's unique combination of unconventional thinking, limitless patience, and unshakable resolve. He believed that a researcher without formal scientific doctrine might offer a fresh, unbiased perspective on primate behavior, unclouded by existing preconceptions. Leakey helped Jane secure funding and establish a research base in 1960 in the Gombe Stream Reserve on the shores of Lake Tanganyika. The early days were incredibly challenging. The terrain was arid in parts and dense with undergrowth in others, making tracking the elusive chimpanzees immensely difficult. In addition to the physical challenges of the expedition, she had to overcome the deep skepticism of local communities and the scientific world alike, who questioned the validity of a young woman with no college degree studying primate behavior. Her early protocol was simple: observe without interfering. She spent months in the wilderness, patiently trying to bridge the immense gap between human and chimp. She focused on small details: the texture of the foliage, the distinctive calls of the wildlife, and the shifting light under the canopy. Chapter 2: The Profound Discovery and the Behavioral Evolution. The initial scientific community had a clear preconception: humans were the only species to create and use tools. Furthermore, the formal scientific doctrine insisted on impersonal labeling of animals, using numbers, not giving them names, to maintain objectivity. Jane defied both. She began to name the chimpanzees she studied. She met David Graybeard, Flo, and Goblin. She asserted that giving the chimps names was vital to recognize their unique personalities, which was essential to understanding their complex behavioral patterns. The breakthrough came with David Graybeard. One day, Jane observed him stripping leaves from a twig and using the modified stick to fish fortimites in a mound. This simple action was an epochal discovery. Thetwig was a tool, and David Graybeard was using it. Jane famously wired Leakey: "Now we must redefine man, redefine tool, or accept chimpanzees as human." Moreover, her observations revealed a complex social hierarchy within chimpanzee troops. She documented intricate rituals of grooming, dominant displays, and surprisingly, moments of genuine empathy and comfort. She noticed the subtle shift in the vocalizations of the chimps as they communicated. Furthermore, she was the first to document the dark side of chimp life: aggressive, territorial conflicts, and organized warfare between rival groups. This shattered the naive image of chimps as merely gentle herbivores. In addition to behavioral insights, her work provided a vast amount of empirical data on their diet. She meticulously tracked their foraging habits, from crushing nuts with stones to hunting smaller mammals, confirming that they were omnivores, not strict vegetarians. Her work was a paradigm shift that required her to document every detail, from the lush foliage they consumed to the predators that stalked the undergrowth. Chapter 3: The Ecosystem and the Conservation Imperative. As Jane's studies progressed through the 1970s and 80s, her focus began to shift from pure research to urgent advocacy. She recognized that her beloved Gombe was not an isolated sanctuary, but an increasingly vulnerable ecosystem. The surrounding habitat was being rapidly depleted by deforestation and human encroachment. She realized that the survival of the chimps depended not only on understanding their behavior, but on safeguarding their environment. She became a tireless proponent of conservation. In addition to her groundbreaking research, she began to travel the world, disseminating a message and advocating for sustainable development. Her conservation philosophy was rooted in the belief that you cannot separate the fate of the animals from the fate of the people who live around them. Moreover, she established community-based programs designed to improve health and education for the local populations, thereby providing a vested interest in protecting the natural resources. This approach, known as the Take Care philosophy, became a powerful doctrine in environmental activism. She spoke with unwavering conviction about the ethical responsibility humans have towards wildlife. Furthermore, she warned about the devastating consequence of the illegal wildlife trade and habitat destruction, stressing that the loss of every species represented an irreversible degradation to the global ecosystem. Her plea was simple: we must act now to prevent the extinction of these magnificent primates. Chapter 4, The Legacy of Empathy and Advocacy. Jane Goodall's legacy transcends the boundaries of primatology. She is recognized globally as a crucial voice for environmental stewardship. She has transformed the very doctrine of scientific inquiry, injecting it with a necessary element of empathy and personal connection. The Jane Goodall Institute, JGI, founded in 1977, continues her work, maintaining the longest-running study of any animal in its native habitat. The Institute focuses on 4 key areas: conservation, research, education, and the rehabilitation of orphan chimpanzees in their sanctuary projects. In addition to managing the Institute, Dr. Goodall spends nearly 300 days a year traveling, ensuring her message of hope and action is disseminated to a new generation. She argues that every individual action, from mindful consumption to local advocacy, contributes to the collective effort to preserve the delicate balance of the natural world. Her life is a powerful testament to the idea that scientific rigor and deep compassion are not mutually exclusive. She showed that by truly observing nature, we can learn not only about the animals, but about the innate need for social connection and ethical behavior that defines the primate family, including our own. Her work remains the definitive narrative on the evolutionary bond between humans and chimpanzees. Conclusion: the unshakable stewardship. Jane Goodall's journey from a shy girl with a dream to a global icon of conservation is a reminder that passion can indeed change the world. She gave us a window into the intricate lives of our closest relatives, and in doing so, forced us to recognize our duty as stewards of the planet. For English learners, this narrative has expanded your vocabulary for the natural world. You can now describe the habitat with words like canopy, terrain, and undergrowth, and discuss the vital work of conservation using terms like ecosystem, advocacy, and extinction. By using these rich, descriptive words, you can articulate the beauty and the challenges of the environment with precision. May Jane's unwavering spirit inspire you to look closer at the natural world around you and to find your own part in its preservation.